All right, so in this video, we're going to continue talking about conducting fire attacks. Now, in this one, we're going to talk about specifically conducting an ordnance attack against an armored fighting vehicle. All right, so something that has armor values. We'll cover conducting ordnance attacks against infantry in the next video. So as an example, I've got our little Easy 8 set out right here, and we've got a Panzer III up here in front of it that it's going to take a shot at. Now, an easy way to tell that it's an ordnance weapon that you're firing is it's got that little chart on it. All right, so the red, yellow, white. You can see it's on both of these tanks. And when we're talking about conducting this ordnance attack, any weapon that has that red, yellow, white little chart on it is an ordnance attack. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a tank. It doesn't matter if it's a bazooka, whatever it is. If you're firing it at an armored vehicle, you're going to be conducting it this way. Now, the nice part is that ordnance attacks are a lot easier than they initially appear when you're looking at all the numbers. They're actually conducted fairly similar to how an infantry conducts its attacks. First thing, key thing, is figuring out the range of your attack and your line of sight. Make sure you watch the line of sight stuff that we talked about previously because it does get a little wonky when you're aiming across certain things. So make sure you check that out first to help you understand what we're talking about. We've got an easy example set out here though. This Panzer III is just a couple of sectors away. All right, so 1, 2 sectors away. We don't have any degrading, blocking terrain, so it's going to be easy for our example. Now, when you're looking at these little charts, the red is your short range, yellow is medium range, and white is your long range. So red is 1 to 2 sectors away, yellow is 3 to 5, and white is anything 6 sectors and farther away. And the easy way to understand it when you're looking at these charts is those two numbers there, right? So when we're looking at our Easy 8 here, in the red you see 9-5. The first number is your to hit, and the second number is your penetration value. It's just like that for every pair of numbers in any ordnance weapon. All right, so it's middle. The medium range is a to hit of 7, penetration of 4. Long range, to hit of 6, and penetration of 3. Obviously, penetration goes down as the range gets further. Now, there are modifiers that are listed down that will come into play. The key one for us when we're looking at our to hit is terrain. So clear terrain is 0, so it's not going to affect it. But if it were different terrain that did have a numerical defense value there, that would be a modifier that you would add to your 2d6 roll to determine whether or not you're going to hit. So looking at our example, this Easy 8 firing at the Panzer III, it needs a 9 or under. So you're looking for under here when it comes to whether or not you're going to hit. After you've adjusted for all of your modifiers, we don't have any modifiers that are going to affect us here. So we just draw 2 cards and we see if we are equal to or under 9. So when we draw our cards, we've got a 5, we've got a 1. So we know we have got a 6. We have hit our target. Keep in mind that if you have a 2d6 check that is 3 or under, then you're going to have to check for out of ammo as well. So we've hit our target. Now we have to determine whether or not we've actually penetrated our target. And this is really simple. We're doing a d6 check for each person, all right? So the attacker and the defender, and we're just adding certain values to that. For our attacker, it's going to be our penetration value. And for our defender, it's going to be the armor value that is applicable to where they're hit. In this case, the Panzer III was hit in the front, so it's going to be an armor value of 3. But if we'd hit it in the flank, it would be an armor value of 1. So let's do our d6 checks for our example. For our Easy 8, we draw, we get a 6. We're going to add that to our penetration value of a 5. And that is going to give us an 11. It's pretty high. I doubt our Panzer III is going to survive this. We draw our d6 check for our Panzer III, and we see that they got a 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so we have beat them. Now, when it comes to conducting this check, what you're looking for is whether or not the attacker beats the defender. It can't equal the defender. Okay, so if the attacker is higher, then the defender has been hit and is destroyed. If it's equal to or under the defender's modified total, then the defender is free and clear. There's no effect. In our case, though, since our Easy 8 did beat the Panzer III, you are going to take a wreck marker and you're going to place that there, and it's going to go with whatever terrain is there. So it doesn't replace the terrain. The terrain's going to stay in the sector. You're just going to add the wreck marker to it as well. And it's just that simple to conduct your ordnance attack. You do your 2d6 check depending on your range. If you hit, you're going to do a d6 check for each person, adding penetration and armor values, and determine which one is higher. If the attacker is higher, then the defender is going to be destroyed.